Perfect. That is actually perfect. What do you mean obstacle detected? It's right there.
No can do, Sam. Structures can't be built that close together.
Oh, hello. What else is it connecting to?
Outside the sensor ring.
That's cool. Bye. She's waving at me. So that one is there, and then does that connect to anything else? Not really. It's not like it's a shortcut across there. Oh my god. That bandwidth. Holy shit, we're up to 15,000 now. I feel like we're going through the bandwidth way faster now than we were before. Christ, that's worrying.
Construction complete.
Oh man, that makes me think I need to find better ways of doing stuff like this because tiny jumps. Wait, this isn't mine. Oh, that's mine. But it does link up with this one, right? Rolling over. It does. Okay. Oh wait, no, this one isn't mine either. Huh. Okay, well that's going to need to be fixed later then. I guess. Right, okay. I'm nowhere fucking near where I was. What am I doing? For some reason I thought that was the one I'd placed. It's not even remotely close to being the one I placed. Hang on then. Although I'm on a 20-minute time limit, aren't I? Shit. Now is not the time for this, but I've just committed. Let's get it done. Let's get this made. Hopefully, this will be easier than it looks. Oh man, why am I doing this on a time limit? I didn't even think about it. I wonder if I'm going to have enough bandwidth to cross a massive tar belt. If there's a huge tar belt in between here and Edgenot, then I'm sure as shit only going to want to cross it once on foot. But it's sounding like that might not be possible. Had to let my stamina regen there. Okay, right. So, how high up can we get here? We need it to connect to that one. And wherever the fuck my other one is. Can't see it from here. Higher up we go then. I hope it's possible. I really hope it's possible to conjoin that one and the one I built with just one extra. Fiddlesticks. Oh, is that it over there? Oh, it might be. connecting to two things. It's connecting to that one and that one. Huh. And that one. Perfect. Oh, it's a four-way. You love to see it. Right. Get this built, zoom on back across to the geologist, drop off that thing, zoom on back to Hartman, drop off that thing, and see what waits for us next. Who knows? Is it literally going to be right, time to go kind of thing? Time to head to Edgenot? Do. I'm Sam the Man. Bonk. Bonk. Sorry, zipline down there. Don't need ya. You're useless. Who the fuck put you there? Moron. Get in the bin. Unnecessary. I'm sure it was necessary in their game. Yeah, I know. I love that it lets me jump off onto this bridge here. And it even gives me the batteries aren't used while on the grid thing. That's how close I'm skirting to the floor. Okay. Almost ruined by timefall. Uh-oh. Look at all this stuff getting healed up. Very nice, very nice.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges. Verifying ID. Clear.
Howdy, partner.
All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified. Sam Bridges. Good to see you.
And you.
The cargo's in excellent condition. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Another star. Lovely, lovely. More bandwidth. Mars red. Perfect.
Tell me, do you have any use for this? If so, it's yours.
What you got for me? Ceramics high density. I'm sure I do. Oh, a couple of destroyed blood bags. That's not good. Load onto vehicle. It's not even my vehicle. Sure, I can take these to Hartman's. Anything else that is been ruined or anything? No, that's all good. Okay.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
I will. I'm nice like that.
Good work.
Anything here to take to Hartman whilst I'm on the way? To roboticist, to paleontologist, to Evo Devo. Oh, right, the beach-related art. Perfect, perfect. Premium. Hang on. What was it? Oh, just... Yeah, don't get it damaged and shit. That's fine. Do I need more PCCs? Probably not at this point. We're pretty connected up. Well, I mean, I get it. We can always drop them. We can always drop them if they become too much. Oh no, are we even going to have room for it all? Oh, we do? Oh, lovely. I had a horrible feeling suddenly. What if we're too tall? But apparently it's all good.
Order assigned.
No, no, don't fall over, you mong. God damn it. It's because he fucking picked up the stuff I dropped. You're supposed to be holding, like, the triggers at most opportunities you get. Because, that means you pretty much can't fall over. It's not 100%, but so long as you're holding the triggers and he's gripping his straps, it makes it about 1,000,000 times harder to fall over. But because I did it as soon as I came out, because I was turning around, he picked up the things I dropped and almost fucked me completely. Hopefully, it hasn't ruined it too much for the premium delivery, or I'm going to be real mad. Almost there. Email received from the Spiritualist. The chiral network connects people past and present. Shall we have a reading sesh when we're at Hartman's? I feel like it's been a while. Lovely.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified. Thank you.
Who's parked their car right outside the front door? That's just rude, I'll have you know. Okay, what's the verdict?
Delivering cargo. Delivery complete. Displaying performance evaluation.
2%. Oh, that's fine. Ha. Ooh, new hologram data BT. And more bandwidth. Lightning blue. Very nice. Ton more mats. Oh, and the other one. Lovely. Level 4? Oh, only B for that shit.
Thank you for your continued support.
You are continually welcome.
Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Right. Time for another cutscene. I hope he spins the fucking turntable again. That was so good.
Thank you, Sam. In reclaiming our past, we've uncovered a number of vital clues. Don't worry, I just got back. We have time. When you met with Mama, you experienced a strong antigen-antibody reaction, correct?
There was a BT in the room.
There was, but something else may have been causing it. I've discovered large quantities of chiral matter in Mama as well. Not just the usual kind that collects on our skin or on our suits. It's in all her cells. Cells that are no longer active. The BT you encountered there was special. It was her child, but also her own soul.
Eh?
Somehow, her car and half failed to separate. They must have remained connected through the umbilical cord. It's the only explanation.
Is that why I didn't get a bruise where she touched me?
Yes, and there's more.
10 seconds to cardiac arrest.
What? You said you would just back.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I modified the log times. Headquarters will have no record of what we say.
Oh.
Look, a message from Dead Man. It came with the umbilical cord.
Sam, I'm sorry. You deserve to know what you were carrying. But I couldn't risk Die Hardman finding out about the case. So I had no choice but to keep it off the books. You've got to keep this between us. We still don't know if the director can be trusted. The umbilical cord was taken from Bridget Strand. I removed it in secret.
What?
The cord wasn't attached to a fetus. It was outside her body. She asked me to take care of it. Said it was the key to unlocking the Death Stranding. But she insisted that I never tell the director. The cord shows no sign of decomposition or necrotization. Almost as if it's frozen in time. I thought Hartman might be able to make sense of it, so I had it hidden with your cargo at Mountain Knot City.
Deadman's observations were accurate. It's just like Mama's corpse.
What do you mean?
I mean, they share a very unique property. Both contain large amounts of chiralium in their cells. In other words, the president's cord was somehow connected to the beach, and that allowed it to escape the flow of time. I've put together the bones of a theory. It's patchy, but worth sharing, I think. Life on Earth has been rocked by many extinctions, great and small, including the Big Five. And if you examine the Earth's strata, its history, if you will, you'll find chiralium deposits that can be dated to each. What if the manifestation of beaches and other associated phenomena correspond to extinction-level events?
You mean?
Yes. Our Death Stranding could just be the latest of many. The records and research you helped us to recover strongly suggest that we are in the middle of the 6th extinction.
6th extinction? Come on.
You know what this is, yes?
A frozen mammoth from 10,000 years ago.
Correct. And this?
The Iceman from 5,300 years ago.
They both had the same umbilical cords.
Bullshit.
Humor me. What if the mammoth and the Iceman weren't frozen?
You're saying time stopped for them just like it did for Mama?
Unfortunately, all these specimens were lost in the Death Stranding, so there's no way to examine the genuine articles, but some fragments of data did survive. With the aid of the chiral network, we may be able to piece together something more concrete using Evo-Devo tech. All right, how's this? A dinosaur from 65.5 million years ago. Umbilical cord, not decomposed.
Only mammals have umbilical cords.
No, only mammals have umbilical cords used for childbirth. This is something else. Call it a strand from the other side. I propose that mammalian umbilici are a sort of mimesis of the strand that then evolved over time. We shouldn't assume that everything about a Death Stranding is detrimental to life. Trilobites, ammonites, dinosaurs, the mammoth, the Iceman, all preserved as if frozen in time, all without exception, found with strands, which is to say that all may have been connected to the beach. And this, when viewed in the context of the extinction entity, EE theory, leads me to surmise that organisms with strands are in fact extinction entities. You see, Sam, EEs are connected to the beach via their strands. And it is through this connection that they somehow bring about a death stranding.
So you're saying Bridget was an extinction entity?
It's far too soon to say anything for certain. And since you burned her body, we may never know.
Higgs said Amelie's an EE, that she doesn't have dooms like the rest of us.
Sam, think. Assume that President Strand was an EE. Isn't it possible that her daughter is too? At the very least, Higgs may hope as much now that the president is unavailable.
So he kidnaps her for EE powers or whatever to cause a mass extinction.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. I doubt a single EE is powerful enough to cause a death stranding, assuming Amelie is an EE.
Well, Higgs sure thinks she's got what it takes.
Indeed. And we need to get her back as soon as possible.
1 minute remaining. Please hold on to something secure.
Ah, this one is real. Sam, go west.
How do you want me to handle Die Hardman?
With your customary reserve. Nothing good will come of him learning of our suspicions. Whatever else is going on, we still need the chiral network.
Right.
Activating lab security measures. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, my goodness gracious me. Take on a new order for Sam at Hartman's lab. Oh boy, that's a lot to take in. Let's catch up on some emails. There's only a few, thankfully. The Spiritualist, a snapshot of ages past. Sam, do you recall the handprint you brought me? Well, I hope you're sitting down, because when I analysed it, I discovered it was 65 million years old. It dates back to the late Cretaceous period, when the dinosaurs became extinct. I did fear that perhaps it was just the rock, and the handprint itself had been added much later, but that does not seem to be the case. Could someone have travelled through time via the beach in order to leave it? If not, how could it possibly have been made? I plan to look into the matter further, and will get in touch when I learn more. If you happen to stumble across anything that might shed light on this mystery, you'll let me know too, won't you? Sure. The Geologist, Chiral Nightmares. Dear Sam, thanks to you the chiral contamination's all cleared up. Nasty symptoms though, dizziness, headaches, insomnia. At first I worried it was all down to my isolation in this shelter, and the intense focus on my research for the past year. But it got real bad when the nightmares started. I saw the end of the world, a portal to the beach opening, and BTs pouring through by the thousands. There was nowhere to run, no time, and they began scooping us up one by one, and then the void outs came, bigger and bigger, until a massive one, or several massive ones, enveloped the whole world, and poof. Just like that. When I told Hartman about it, he likened it to the visions of extinction doom sufferers tend to experience. It's strange though, after all, we now have incontrovertible proof that chiralium is far from a recent addition to our world. Anyway, that's a problem for a different day. The important thing is that I'm cured, and it's all thanks to you. The chiral network connects people, past and present. Holy fuck, that's a big one. How are you, Sam? I'm good. Oh, how are you, Sam? Managing to fuck it up right at the start. How are you, Sam? In good health and good spirits, I hope. I have to say, the chiral network is quite impressive. Ever since you hooked the shelter up, my life has become much more exciting. I've been able to procure all sorts of goods that I never had seen before, and I've noticed quite a number of new structures going up nearby as well. I should also mention I managed to unearth some old research data that may offer some insight into some of the more unusual phenomena you may have experienced firsthand. I'm sure you have a vivid recollection of your many experiences in the seam. Many experiences? Fuck you. I haven't died that much. But it turns out that the person wandering around in it you may have identified as yourself may not be you at all, but someone else entirely. You see, while everyone's beach belongs to them and them alone, the seam is an altogether different beast. I've read about people who had near-death experiences that involved the seam. When they came across this someone else there, they found themselves somehow saved by them in the real world. They'd even received care packages and the like in some instances. Remarkable, you'd agree. You might even say the chiral networks bridged the gap between this world and that in more ways than we realised. Now, I still don't know who this someone else actually is. The fact that they're in the seam, though, would suggest that it's someone who died, wouldn't it? Someone from the past? So in essence, the past is intervening to keep the present alive. It's comforting to think that it's not just BTs and other scary stuff that comes over from the other side. Maybe the chiral network can help us reconnect with more benevolent beings and positive forces from the past as well. If I may, Sam, I don't suppose you could keep an eye out for this mysterious someone from the past next time you visit the seam, could you? What the fuck? That is a big un. Someone else in the seam? I haven't noticed anyone. I haven't been in the seam that much, though. Recent deaths have just caused a game over because it's been voidly, like, exploding the bomb kind of thing. Curious. Well, I'll certainly look. And then we have quite a few of these to read, I believe. 5 or 6 or something. Neanderthals are not extinct. Both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens are believed to share a common ancestor in the form of Homo... Fuck, what? Homo heidelbergensis? But there are clear differences between the two. Neanderthals were brutish and brawny, well equipped to hunt larger animals and survive in colder climates, whereas Homo sapiens were slender-limbed, only capable of hunting smaller prey. But as millennia passed, Homo sapiens learned to create tools and hunt in packs. The Neanderthals, who actually had larger brains than the Homo sapiens, also fashioned tools of their own, but these were crude in comparison and developed little over 200,000 years. Perhaps because these simple-minded beings favoured small family units, so that even if a breakthrough occurred, it was unlikely to be shared with others. This isolation, more than any other factor, seems to have led to their decline. Homo sapiens, meanwhile, conceived religion, with which large numbers of individuals can be bound together in service to a common cause. Strength in numbers also made their communities more resistant to famine and other calamities. In other words, Homo sapiens grew stronger through interpersonal connections, by creating what came to be called society. If we persist in our divided state, we risk losing this hard-won unity and dooming ourselves to a Neanderthal's fate. We will dwindle and die, apart and alone. But history holds another intriguing lesson. Homo sapiens did not disdain Neanderthals. The two species even intermingled on occasion. Our DNA retains vestiges of our ancient cousins even now, so you see, while a species itself may disappear, its genetic legacy may yet endure. Hartman's theory of evolution. The evolution of life on Earth could be described as the evolution of consciousness. When the first vertebrates clambered out the oceans and onto the land, their consciousness expanded to process the new realm that lay before them. But their development did not end there. Their eyes moved from their flanks to their fronts, that they might comprehend the depth of the world. Mammals formed groups, increasing their chances of survival. Eventually they came together in communities, and then larger societies. In order to preserve and maintain these structures, humans developed a perception of time. And in order for societies to outlast the lifespan of an individual, we conceived of an afterlife, a future beyond ourselves. Alas, the Death Stranding threatens to undo all our progress. Consider the chiral network, which incorporates the beach where time does not exist. Or consider timefall, which rapidly accelerates the degradation of that which comes into contact with it. How can our sense of time, honed over millions of years, remain intact when we must cope with such irrational phenomena? Yet that is but the tip of the proverbial iceberg. We are growing apart, retreating into isolation, gradually losing our place within society. I would even go so far as to say our conceptions of reality are under threat. How could they not be, when our very eyes deny the invisible BT that stands before us? The Stranding has warped our consciousness in every sense. If the evolution of life on Earth is indeed akin to the evolution of consciousness, then what is happening now is undeniably a regression, is it not? There is one caveat, of course. Some of us are now far more aware of death than we ever were. That is what Dooms has given us. For me, therefore, Dooms is not merely a biological change. I prefer to think of it as the means by which I have achieved a new form of consciousness. Furthermore, I hope and believe that this new awareness of the other side is humanity's trump card as we seek to defeat the Death Stranding. Umbilical cords in Devonian-era fossils. An article from an old scientific journal was recently brought to my attention. It predates the Death Stranding, and concerns the discovery of a 380 million year old fossil, one from the Devonian era, to give the period its proper name. It was a fossil of a fish, and that in its womb was a child connected to its mother by an umbilical cord, no less. The species? Hum. It's a placoderm. Let me try and read it. Metapysis attenboroughi. Like David Attenborough himself. It's a placoderm, an extinct class of armoured marine creatures that used to live in seas the world over. Unfortunately, most were wiped out during the Devonian era, right around the time of the second of the Big Five, in fact. As you may be aware, one of the key foci of my research is the link between creatures with umbilical cords and mass extinctions. Once this area is connected to the chiral network, it's my hope that we'll be able to piece together more data that will help us learn more about the link between umbilical cords and the Death Stranding. And we've got a few prepper interviews to read, is that? Yeah, here we go. Interview with the geologist. Oh god, they're going to be long, aren't they? I remember what it was... I keep fucking up the very first sentence, this is impressive. I remember it was just before I joined the expedition when I found those documents in Bridges HQ. Research papers that predated the Death Stranding. People used to believe that dinosaurs had gone extinct at the end of the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. But when this fellow investigated various locations where late Cretaceous dino fossils had been found, he came to the startling conclusion that there were hardly any evidence anywhere on Earth that supported the theory that dinosaurs had survived until the end of the Cretaceous. In other words, almost all of them had been wiped out long before that. The only place where there were fossils that did support the traditional theory was here, in North America, which suggested that this was the last part of the Earth to have been inhabited by dinosaurs. Not everyone agreed with this analysis at the time, but let's say he had it right. That would mean that there is evidence of a mass extinction hidden here, right beneath our feet, evidence which could prove invaluable in understanding the one on the horizon. Did the dinosaurs who happened to live here just get lucky? Or is there something special about this place that allowed them to survive? I'd love to get to the bottom of it, but I'm not sure I have what it takes. I'm not like Hartman. I don't have dooms or any other unique traits. Still, I want to make myself useful. I want to research the Stranding and help uncover the truth behind it. That's why I joined the expedition team, after all. Interview with a paleontologist. In the period since the very first life forms arose here on Earth, the planet had witnessed a number of mass extinctions. As you're no doubt aware, the most significant of these are known as the Big Five. The first marked the end of the Ordovician period, while the next at the end of the Devonian period wiped out almost all marine life. But the third of these extinctions, that should be plural, the third of these extinctions, I think at least, unless extinction is like sheep, where one sheep, two sheep, but you don't really talk about plural extinctions, so I don't know. At the end of the Permian period, around 250 million years ago, was even worse. 96% of all marine organisms and 70% of land organisms died as a result. The fourth extinction finished off most large reptiles, though the dinosaurs managed to hold on until the fifth came along at the end of the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. We humans are evolved from the small mammals which managed to survive that particular catastrophe. Each of these 5 extinctions resulted from enormous changes to the natural environment. Species which were unable to adapt to these changes perished, while those that were ideally situated to evolve and thrive did just that. Evidence from records which predate the Death Stranding indicate that many scholars believed a 6th mass extinction is on its way, or that it may have already begun. There was something of a consensus regarding its cause as well, humanity's destruction of the environment. This led them to sound the alarm, warning the world of what was at stake. At the time, the greatest minds of the era believed that if the ecosystem could be preserved, and if humanity could learn to live in harmony with nature, then a future could be secured for all the world's species, humans included. But that was then, and this is now. If the phenomenon we're currently experiencing is indeed the 6th extinction, it must be acknowledged that humanity is the main target. Is this divine punishment for our misdeeds? If so, then I suppose there's little that can be done. Perhaps there's no way forward for humanity now. Nevertheless, I refuse to give up. I will endeavour to find hope in our predicament. Interview with the Evo Devo biologist. I was born after the Death Stranding, so my conception of what the world once was is derived entirely from documents, photographs and video. We didn't used to have timefall for one, just regular rain. No chiral clouds, only the traditional masses of suspended moisture, and one certainly didn't have to worry about tar bubbling up from underground in most locales. Humans could travel anywhere, even into space, and we were blissfully unaware of the beach's existence. Suffice it to say, there's no doubt that this period of sweeping change that this is a period of sweeping change that will have lasting repercussions for all life on Earth. Given that, dooms may simply be humanity's way of trying to adapt and survive. A beach exists within the consciousness of every individual, but these environmental changes, they affect all life on a genetic level, do they not? This is why I thought to investigate them, and the medium through which I chose to do that is the tar which has become so ubiquitous. But you're not interested in that, I'm sure. So, you know, there is a very real possibility we've already failed to adapt to the 6th extinction. That we are but another evolutionary dead end soon to be left behind. If that is the case, it could be reasoned that the ones afflicted with dooms, and therefore blessed with an enhanced perception of the beach, are our successors, who'll survive and supplant us. I suppose that would be a shame, but it doesn't trouble me all that much. My research will survive me as well, and the doom sufferers can pick up from where I left off. They'll carry on my genetic lineage too, for that matter. No, what worries me is that not even dooms will prove sufficient to endure this extinction. If that is the case, then humanity is doomed. It's certainly a possibility we have to acknowledge. But more than that, one question looms above all. Why? Why now? Why like this? That's what I want to know more than anything. Somehow I doubt the dinosaurs and all the other species that came and went ever considered that question. Worrying over the reason for this and that is a uniquely human condition, I suppose. Yet this idle curiosity may be the key to understanding and overcoming the Stranding. And tar bubbles up from the beach. I'd heard this area was pretty inhospitable before I got here. Got your fair share of mountains, obviously, and on top of that were all these rumours about a secret terrorist base or something, so I figured I was in for a bad time. But when me and the team got here, yeah, it was way worse than what we thought. Felt like we could get jumped at any second, you know? I tell you what though, I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw all the tar out west. Wondered how the hell Amelie and her team made it through, but someone said it wasn't nearly as bad when they made the trip. I was sent out to take a closer look, and man, it was something else. And it hadn't been that long either. Hard to imagine all that bubbled up damn near overnight. Honestly, I felt like I was standing at the edge of the world. We don't know much about the tar, except that it wasn't around before the Stranding, same as Timefall and Chiralium. There's some speculation that it might be a byproduct of the beach, and that if you could somehow retrace the flow you'd end up there, but that's all theoretical stuff. Right now, we've got a practical problem to deal with. One of the chiral relays we built is at risk of going under at any moment. We don't have the manpower to relocate it yet, but we should once the second expedition shows up. Whether we can wait that long is another question though. Maybe you could tell them to get their asses in gear if you get a chance? Nice. Anything else? That is it. That is it for now. Okay. So, we don't currently have a... Oh yeah, we do. Expand the chiral network across the tar belt. Oh, shit. Is that what we're doing next? Going down here, was it? Seems like this is... Oh man, is all of this the tar belt? All this black? We never went past the Timefall farm. I don't know, it could be. Or we'd be going down from the paleontologist, I guess. Seems like... Yeah, there's a natural gap in the mountains that would lead down. Or potentially we could go over here, climb up that, and then follow the tar itself. Don't know. But one thing is for sure, and that is, I'm hungry. And so I will not be doing this right now, because that is a solid 3.5 hour session. It is 8 o'clock, and I would like to inhale some pasta. So we will leave off there for now, but honestly, after I'm done inhaling some pasta, I may come back and record more tonight. Feels like we might be heading towards the end right now. It's definitely possible. Feels like... I guess I don't know if getting to Edgenot is the end, but it's the goal we were given at the start of the game, so if it's not the end, then Lord knows what happens past there. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, if you could leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the videos around, share the... I'm almost fucking up my own outro there. Share the videos around, share the playlist around if you can. I would really appreciate that. And I will see you next time for more Death Stranding. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you then.